Welcome, Bearcats. Today we're diving into the world of design at the master level. Whether you're considering applying, already in the program, or just curious about what's the Master of Design, MDes, really entails, this episode is for you. We're joined by,
Nicholas Namyar.
And Brianna Durisco.
they're both first year students of the MDes. We will be exploring what it means to take design to the next level, how research, experimentation, and the industry connections shape the experience. Plus, we will hear firsthand insights from the students who are navigating the challenges and opportunities of this advanced degree. So, grab your sketchbook, coffee, or whatever gets you in the zone, and let's dive into today's session. So, guys, tell me, what did you study before joining the Master of Design program?
Yeah, so before I came to MDes, I was at Xavier University and I did a double major in both graphic design and a major called digital innovation, film and television. So I really just wanted to gain creative skills in my undergrad that I could apply to a job in the future.
Awesome. Yeah, I come from a bit of a non-traditional design background. So I went to Duquesne University in undergrad, and that's in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And I studied entrepreneurship and economics and a little bit of digital media arts, which is as close to their design as we could get.
And did you always knew that you wanted to pursue a master, or what happened that made you make that decision?
Coming from a non-design space, I think I always know I wanted to be in design somehow. I didn't always know that a master's degree was going to be that avenue, but I think I relocated to Cincinnati after my undergrad, and then DAAP is such an amazing place and very interdisciplinary, and I think that's what really attracted me to the master's degree program in particular, is getting able to bring my skill set and kind of mix it with design, especially in a research setting.
Yeah, how would
Yeah, so for me, I feel like I come from a similar background to Delphina, kind of in like the film sort of area, and video production. So I didn't ever think that I actually would do a master's. It was in the back of my head, for a little bit when and during the beginning of my undergrad, but kind of what made me think of coming to do a master's was one to like further my education. I really think that like on resumes and in job interviews, it's something that really stands out. That you're really learning more skills. I think research is becoming a big part, and even like things we're learning now, like AI, how to use that. That's becoming a really big thing that recruiters are looking for. And also being in a master program also allows me to get one more chance to get internship opportunities. You know, if you're not a student, you really can't get those experiences still. So being at DAAP and in the master program really allows me to do that.
And since you both guys has different backgrounds, what do you think was like the biggest challenge you have faced on your masters?
Hmm. I think for me, it's trying to figure out what I don't know. So I know about design at a high level, and obviously I'm bringing a lot of like business insights, data visualization experience to the program, but trying to learn about the things in design that I wanted to learn more about going into our kind of thesis exploration was my biggest challenge. So trying to do a lot of exploring and figure out what I wanted to know more about.
I think honestly, my biggest challenge was just I was worried if people would take me seriously for my background. I think, for me, I've always wanted to work in the music and entertainment industry. And I felt like being surrounded by, people who are really focused in like STEM research and things like that, whether they're from health backgrounds, or engineering, wherever they're from. I was a little nervous about that. But now coming into here and seeing how welcoming everyone is, they're really excited to see your ideas and they actually encourage and are more welcoming to people who come from a different background.
So, talking more about the program, what has been the most surprising part of studying the Master of Design?
I think one of the most surprising things, and Delphina, you mentioned a little bit, is talking about our cohort and how much we learn from each other. I think in the first year especially, we're working so much in different groups. So I think I've gotten to work with almost everyone in our class in a group project at some point. But I think the amount that I've learned from others, as well as the instructors and faculty and staff that we have here, was the most surprising thing. So getting to learn from people in different backgrounds, or even as we like ideate on concepts, just learning from different perspectives, I think was the most surprising thing for me.
Mhm. Yeah, for me, something that I actually didn't expect is some of the opportunities that master's students in DAAP get outside of class. So, for example, you can have the opportunity to be a teaching assistant for a class if you're interested in teaching at a level in once you graduate. And then also, another thing about being in a master program, you can also have a graduate assistantship where, for example, I'm getting to use my videography skills working with Claudio Revola in the CDRI. And then also, even like you're still able to be involved in like clubs, even though in the master level you have a little less time because, research, working 20 hours a week, you can still have some time to do. For example, I'm doing my own radio show right now with the Bearcast Club. So I just really thought it was surprising that I'd still be able to take advantage of those opportunities. Being in grad school now, this is my last chance to be experiencing what it's like to be a student, also networking, meeting as many people as possible who are also really eager to meet other people. So I feel like being still involved, even if it's like, one club meeting a month, if we don't have enough time, I still think it's really valuable to do networking through that.
Yeah, and I think I'm constantly learning about new resources at the university, just across different schools. I think that's what's nice is we have a lot of opportunity to explore. You're talking about electives, but even learning about other resources that they have at 1819, Digital Futures, and the business school that I've tapped into recently in this semester. I think that's a big surprising factor too.
Yeah, I think that there's so many resources. Like, since we take classes in other colleges, for example, we share like a lot of classes on the School of Business. They're all in marketing. That's an awesome place to do like networking because it has so many different backgrounds. They have like sports person networking, like with medical the resources, I don't know, hair, like beauty, everything you can imagine. So tell me, I want you guys to share with me, how do you see yourself working in academia or the industry or starting your own design practice after graduation?
So, for me, I think this master's has really set me up to go into user experience research. I think that's a huge interest area for me. I love learning why people do what they do and how we can help people have better experiences across many different industries. So I think I'm really focused on user experience research roles. So being able to go out in the field, talk to individuals, through one of my graduate assistantships in a place that I'll be co-oping in at Livewell Collaborative. I've had a great chance to practice those things firsthand, specific to the aging population and the healthcare industry. So I think staying in that sort of realm and similar type of work is where I see myself.
So for me, I obviously come from a little bit different of a background, but I've always seen myself kind of working in the visual design aspect. So for example, that could be, I'm really interested in working at a music company, for example, entertainment. So that could involve being a creative services manager or working in the video department, kind of getting to plan out for emerging artists and established artists like Beyonce or whoever, kind of planning out what their visual identity, graphic design, album covers, packaging, kind of the whole look of what the fans will take out of this artist. That's been something that I'm really passionate about. And I think Master of Design, one of the big things about it is like at its core, it's like about problem solving. And a lot of these artists I've noticed, they're kind of like, for example, struggling to reinvent themselves through different eras or they sometimes need help to obviously go about their branding. So that's kind of where I see myself fitting in as far as problem solving, design, all of that in this industry.
And you're researching that on your thesis next year, right?
Yes, yeah. One of the also talking about surprising things, I didn't know if they'd, let me kind of take that direction with it. I thought it would have to be kind of more something like STEM focused, but
Academic.
yeah, academic, but it's still, I found out, it can still be something kind of in that direction, just with strong research methodologies.
And what's your favorite thing on the Master of Design? If you could just one thing.
I think my favorite thing so far, as we're like nearing this halfway point, is really doing exploration and research on a thesis. I think the way we were set up to explore our thesis topics by like things that we were obsessed with, our aspirations and our convictions, really led me to a topic area that I didn't expect myself to choose, but I'm wildly passionate about. So I think finding and navigating that process and then finding a topic area that I really feel like I can take ownership in a project of, I think that's my favorite thing so far.
Like I mentioned before, honestly, one of my favorite parts of the Master of Design has been some of the outside of class experiences. Again, like just being like TAing actually has been really fun. Like, because you're getting to see, and that's something, not all like undergrad students are able to do TAing. It's really fun to kind of get the experience because in my future, like after being involved in the industry, I might be interested in going back and teaching at the university level and just being able to kind of share that knowledge. So it's been really fun to get to kind of lead lectures sometimes and activities, grading even, just kind of getting to interact with other students really passionate about design and also learning through the process.
So, we're finishing this episode, and I always give this space to people to share if they have any advice for upcoming students of the MDes. So you can think about something that you're advising them to do.
Yeah, I mean, my advice would be if you're thinking about coming to the Master of Design, really think about your passions, think about what is a problem in the world that you want to solve, or even at a smaller level. It doesn't have to change the design of the whole, chairs or something for everyone, but
Or it can be.
it can be, yeah. But think of like a very specific problem, and from there, just kind of present that in your letter of intent when you're applying, and then from there, they'll kind of guide you on how to go about that research for that.
I think for me, it's a lot about embracing the connections and the relationships that you build. Not only have I gotten to learn from a lot of the people in our classes, but I would consider them great friends over the last kind of year that we've spent together. So I would say kind of embrace all the connections and relationships that you can build and have some fun along the way too.
Yeah. Since I'm a master of design today, I can actually give an advice. I will focus on what Brianna said. Like, be ready to, first of all, be open to talk to many people that don't share your background because you're going to learn so much for them. Like, don't be like, he doesn't have the same background. Like, I will not. He doesn't get it. Like, they actually do get it. So listen to your classmates because they also become your friends. Are they in the same boat as you? They're going to feel the same things as you. And also that you should like really also what Nick said, like focus on your thing, what you're passionate about. So then when you come here, you can create a specific plan to in this 2 years of the master of design to be like the specialist of that thing. So be open to that. So yeah, well, thank you guys for joining me. This
This is a pleasure.
and then for everyone hearing us, wait for the next episode next week.